Hey, what's up, everybody? It's BDF44. So, um, the Lakers are a team that I like, as you all know. So I'm gonna try to use as much of my time on this earth to talk about them when I have a camera in my face, and this is no exception to that. So, what I want to talk about in particular with the Lakers is just AD's coming back into form, as I knew he would. Of course, he's a super duper star of the highest order, one of the top 5 players, 10 players in this generation, and probably will retire a top 50 player of all time. And I think that that's healthy. That's a healthy statement. I don't think I'm reaching when I say that. That's how great I believe he can end up being, especially since he already got one championship under his belt. He dropped 42 on who was it? Phoenix last night. 3 blocks, 3 rebounds. I mean, three blocks, 3 steals. So his defense is back to AD level. He rebounded the ball. I think he got 11 of those and got a couple assists to go with it. His big time stats numbers, doing all kinds of great stuff, helping our team get a victory over a team that is officially in first place. So that was one of the bigger wins of the season for the Lakers, especially given off of the loss that we suffered, trying to keep in the 7th spot so we can have a little more leeway within our playing tournament circumstances if we are to stay there, which I believe we probably are. But that was a big victory, and most importantly, we have 2 back-to-back games with AD having 30-plus points in a row. He's starting to find his rhythm. He's starting to get his legs under him, and that is very bad news for anybody that's about to face us. The Lakers still have some things to work on. We still got to get Dennis Schroeder back. That's going to be an important piece to work into things, and that's concerning for me because he could throw us off a little bit trying to work his way back. But LeBron James did some practicing today. He should be ready to go against the Knicks tomorrow, which is a huge game because the New York Knicks are not the Knicks that we remember them being. They are one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference, and they are red hot, very well coached, and one of the better defensive teams in all of the NBA. Understand this. This year's New York Knicks are a defensive team, and they're damn good at it. So, we learned that when we saw them last time, and they knocked us off, and we're going to have to deal with them tomorrow. So we're going to need another one of big up performances from AD, I believe. And because Braun is probably going to be on minutes restriction, that kind of thing, I'd imagine. But we're close, man, to the end of the season. Everything's winding down, and I think with AD playing as good as he is, it instills some confidence in myself as a fan. He's been struggling all year long for his standards, of course. And so now that he's back from injury playing this well, it makes you feel like he may have shrugged off some of that bad play as well. It's an amazing thing thinking about Anthony Davis's tenure as a Laker because when he got here, we had that super long, drawn-out season. We lost Kobe Bryant. He was here for that. We went through the bubble situation and won a championship. And a part of me feels like this guy is already a part of Laker lore, and we just got to meet him. We just met him. Like, we don't really even know this guy that well. That's the beauty of the circumstance here. And I think about players that have been on our team for many years, guys that are etched in my mind as Lakers. And then I look at Anthony Davis and I say, this dude has only been here for 5 minutes. He's already brought me a ring. He's already brought a ring to the table. I ain't even had a good enough chance to get attached to this dude yet to where, I'm like all in on understanding who he is as a player, like we did with Kobe and like we did with Shaq and like we did with so many other champions past, Derek Fisher, Robert Horry, all of our great champions, Powell, Ron. These are guys that we're going to love no matter what they do in their lives. We're going to always root for them, guys like Lamar Odom. They're going to always be in Laker lore forever. There will never be a point in time where we don't appreciate them. Or even more so, guys who didn't win but we still love just the same, like Eddie Jones and Nick Van Axel. Guys who put on this uniform, guys that I personally appreciate a great deal, like Matt Barnes, people who've worn the uniform over the years, Lou Will, when he was a Laker, I really appreciated his tenure, et cetera, guys that just etched in my mind as Lakers, even though maybe they didn't get a chance to win a ring. Then I look at AD and I'm like, man, he just got here, and he was one of the best players on a championship team. I can't recall a guy who got here this fast and won that in a leading role. Powell got here, we got to the finals, we didn't win it right away. AD got here and champs, like number 17, just like that. So, I just wanted to just kind of express that in this camera and say, wow, AD is already somebody. Number 3 should go up in the rafters already, and we don't even know this guy that well. So I think that speaks to his greatness, and I think that's a notch in his belt in terms of what his Hall of Fame status is going to be, which is obviously first ballot in my mind. But I think he etched that in stone by winning the championship with the Lakers in his first year. Now, many people will say LeBron James could have won that championship with a plethora of superstar co-stars. And not too many superstars in this league couldn't have won that championship with LeBron. Maybe. But I think about what AD does on the defensive end, and I say not too many people are going to provide LeBron James with that type of defensive presence to go along with above and beyond offensive talent. How many superstars provide that? Not many, So I don't know that everyone can win with LeBron James because not everyone has. So you got to give AD all the credit in the world, and we're happy to have him, and we're really happy to have him for 5 years. This is somewhat of an AD appreciation post. Just phenomenal, and already established. So at this point now, we just want to finish out the rest of the season. I don't really know what to expect over the next 4 games, and to be honest with you, kind of just ready to move on. I know that these games are important. And like I said, we got to get Dennis back. We got to get Braun back. We got to get AD continuing to play well, not have any setbacks with their injuries, all that good stuff. Got to get Kuz back. He's also down. So it's a lot of stuff that we got to work into our equation. But to be reminded that we are such a devastatingly deep team, it's something that we can easily lose sight of when we're seeing a struggle and seeing pieces not be on the floor and us losing as a result of it. But when we are fully healthy, when we are playing like we're capable of playing, we are the premier team in the Western Conference. And I think somewhat of what we're seeing right now is somewhat of a rope-a-dope on the Lakers' part. It's a little bit of a rope-a-dope in a sense that we're getting our lumps handed to us. But again, AD has 2 great games in a row. Bron's on his way back. Guys like Taylor Horton-Tucker are starting to find their rhythm. We picked up a guy like Ben McLemore who's shooting lights completely out. We got a guy like Andre Drummond who's a rebounding machine. Even though he's not quite in shape, he's going to start getting in shape as the games progress. Listen, that's another thing. I feel really, really, really confident that our team is going to start getting better. Just in general, they're going to start playing better. As I always preach to you guys come back from injury, you got to give them a couple games to work into the equation. Once they do that, we're going to start really shooting and playing like we're supposed to play. And all the pieces that don't fit and all these different possessions that we've had that aren't cohesive, all that goes away when LeBron James is back on the floor doing his pass genius thing. So keep that in mind, everybody. The pieces that the Lakers have don't fit with one another, but they fit around the players that we built this team to build around. So you got to understand that. Nothing fits until those guys are there. But once they're there, they fit to a T. The only real question about fit is Drummond. And worst comes to worst, you just sit him. Literally. I mean, it's not something that we want to do, but if it's the difference between winning or losing, it is an option. We did it with Dwight. We can do it with Drummond. Sit him. If it ain't working, just sit him. We have other guys. Trez is more than capable of playing 40 minutes a game and giving us 30-plus easy. Marc Gasol is somebody who can throw in there. He'll hit a couple threes and make fantastic passes himself, help keep cohesiveness together. So there are options for the Lakers. Now we have Taylor Horton-Tucker, who's more than capable of putting the ball on the floor and penetrating defenses and creating for others as well. He's getting better and his confidence is growing. He's going to have a big role in these playoffs, I believe. So KCP has become a better playmaker, significantly better playmaker over the last 4 years. So there are players on this team that I expect to play better once the other guys get back because of the run that they've had in those guys' absence. And that's not limited to our team. That's any team. Your team is going to be better when guys who have huge roles come out and guys who don't get to play come in and get a chance to do so consistently. You're going to love that result each and every time. So our team should be better, deeper, stronger. AD being super healthy and ready to go as a superstar player makes us different. Simply makes us different. And on both ends of the floor. He is indeed as good as advertised. He's one of the best players in all of basketball. And now that we have him back, it should change our trajectory for where we're headed. So welcome sight, him playing well. And I'm looking forward to what comes next. The Knicks is a big game, so everybody check that out. I'm going to try to see highlights of it because I'll be at work, of course. But That's going to be a great barometer to see where we're at. Um, and until Schroeder gets back and Braun gets back, it's not really fail safe. It's not perfect rather, but it'll tell us some things. I think we'll know some things tomorrow that we didn't know today. So yeah, that's what I got to say. That's the gist of it, man. This long day is about over. It might be time to check out of work and start this process again tomorrow. Thank you guys for watching. My name is BDF44. I'm out.